So at the beginning, you told that you have a goal of connecting students with 100 million US dollars worth of scholarships, and you have achieved over 8 million as of June. So 9 million on one hand and 100 million by 2026. So what gives you that confidence?
I think 2026 is an arbitrary number that we set for ourselves. I like to operate under extremely difficult circumstances. I think it drives the best out of people. But 2026 is an arbitrary number. Our mission with Secure My Scholarship is to connect students with $100 million in scholarships and change the lives of 100,000 people around the world. And that is what we're doing. We're 9% of the way there. We've connected students with over $9 million in scholarships to date, and we are very, very proud of that. We have a long way to go from here until wherever we end up. But I think I speak on behalf of myself and everybody on the team when I say we're super excited, and more than excited, we're super proud of the work that we're doing.
And we are equally excited to see your journey as well. And another thing, you're talking about expansion from UAE, and now we've also started operations per se in Mumbai as well.
Yeah, not just in Mumbai. So we actually have we've really spread our wings geographically. India is our key expansionary market. We're looking very closely at India to power our next phase of growth. In India, we have people based in Mumbai, Pune, Surat, Ahmedabad, Amritsar, Delhi, Bangalore, and Hyderabad. So really all over India.
You have a big network. Yes.
Really all over India, all working round the clock, customer support, marketing, etc., across a range of different roles. In any given week, there are 10,000 students that come to SecureMyScholarship.com looking for help, looking for scholarships, looking for hope. Out of these 10,000 students, about 3,000 approximate come from the UAE, about 4,500 approximate come from India, and the other 2,500 come from about 30 different countries around the world. They could be a few students from Oman, or a few students from Nigeria, a handful of students from Egypt, but the other 25% is from 30 different countries on average every week.
So in connection to the expansion question that I was asking earlier, now we see a trend where more people are choosing to study in the UAE. Instead of, let's say, for an average Indian kid studying in the UAE, the usual plans for higher education is usually going back to India or even US or UK or the traditional markets. And now the trend is changing and a lot of people are choosing to study in the UAE, and organizations like SMS is making an impact on that. So how do you guys drive the change?
I think on that front, it's really about awareness and exposure. I think people, for the most part, what we've realized is that people outside of the UAE don't even know that there is a higher education sector in the UAE. They don't even know that there are universities here in the UAE. And so a large part of what we do is just build awareness about higher education opportunities in Dubai, even under the umbrella of what we do for students in India or in Pakistan or in Sri Lanka or Bangladesh or wherever. If they want to go to the UK and the US, and I mean, who doesn't want to go to the UK and the US? If they want to go to the UK and the US, but they can't afford to go there, studying in Dubai is a great option because there are UK universities in Dubai at half the cost. There are US universities in Dubai at half the cost. It's a great option. So Dubai kind of acts like that conduit for us between students and Western destinations. We work with all of the universities in the West as well. But Dubai kind of acts as a conduit for us. That being said, Dubai is actually very, very close to our hearts as well. We are a Dubai born and bred company. We are Dubai based. Our entire founding team is from Dubai. We all grew up here. So Dubai is very, very close to our hearts. And we work with every single university in Dubai. We're the largest education platform in Dubai. More students enroll into Dubai universities through our platform than through any other platform in the world. And we're very proud of that. We are playing our role in the growth story of Dubai's higher education. And we hope to do better in the years to come.
So from the business perspective, there is something that I'm curious about. So what is your conversion rate? Let's say a certain number of people visit your website, then you get leads from that, and how many of them actually get scholarships towards the end?
So our conversion rate is 100%. Every single university listed in every single course. There are 440 plus universities on SecureMyScholarship.com, 70,000 plus courses on SecureMyScholarship.com. Each of these has a guaranteed scholarship attached to it. Now, this guaranteed scholarship could be, $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000, depending on the university, depending on the course. And then depending on a range of factors like the university or the program or the students' academic performance themselves, the scholarship can go as high as, $15, $20, $25, $30, $35,000. But there is a minimum guaranteed scholarship. So every single student, when they apply through SecureMyScholarship, receives a scholarship when they apply. The real factor is the university you're looking for available on SecureMyScholarship? So for example, here in the UAE, we don't work with American University of Sharjah, AUS, one of the biggest universities here in the UAE. So if a student is looking for AUS, comes to SecureMyScholarship, they won't apply because AUS is not available on SecureMyScholarship. Just like that, there are a lot of universities which we are trying to get, and hopefully we will get in the future, to list on SecureMyScholarship with their scholarships available for students. But for any student who applies, their success rate is 100% in terms of securing a scholarship, whatever that may be. They will save money if they apply through SecureMyScholarship.
Awesome. And you've spoken about your expansion strategies as well. So what stage would you describe SecureMyScholarship in terms of a startup growth stage?
We are still very early stage, I think. We have a very, very long way to go. We are, I think in terms of the overall story of SecureMyScholarship, we are still at day one, I think.
Way to go.
There's a long way to go for us to achieve our objectives, us to actually achieve our mission, and for us to build what we want to build. I mean, at the end of the day, today we work with 4 destinations: the UAE, the US, the UK, and Ireland. We want to work with universities in every single country around the world. Today we have 10,000 students coming to our platform every week. We want to have 100,000 students come to our platform every week. We have connected students with $9 million in scholarships to date. We want to connect students with $100 million in scholarships. Today we're valued at $6 million. We want to build the UAE's first edtech unicorn. So in terms of every single metric, we have a long way to go in terms of where we are today and where we will be in the future. But personally, I have full faith in our team and just our vision and our strategy and our ability to execute. So I have no doubt that it might take 2 years, it might take 3 years, it might take 5 years, but we want to change the world, and I think we will.
I love the confidence, and that happens soon, inshallah. But at this stage of growth and expansion, of course, you need to raise capital and you need funding. So what plans do you have for that?
That's actually a caveated question. The conventional stereotype is that startups raise a ton of cash, then they burn a ton of cash, then they grow, then they raise another round, then they burn again. That's the conventional
Startups
stereotype.
go through rounds, yes.
Yeah, that's the conventional stereotype. But in essence, they burn cash and they have to raise. We actually prioritized. We never wanted to build a company like that. So from the get-go, we actually prioritized building a company that was fundamentally financially sound. We are cash flow positive, we are EBITDA positive, and we are growing at 150% year over year. And that's the trifecta that we wanted to hit. Can we balance the books and balance the budget and still grow in triple digits every single year? And that's what we're doing. When we raise more capital, we'll raise that when we raise it and when we want to raise it. But there's no compulsion on our end. We could raise it next year, we could raise it 2 years from now, we could raise it 5 years from now. We'll follow, I think, the growth trajectory that most makes sense, as opposed to the compulsions of the industry.
So Craig, what would you describe your North Star is? And what are your long-term vision, mission, and goals for SecureMyScholarship?
Our North Star, long-term mission, vision, any other word that you want to use, is really summed up into one singular statement. At SecureMyScholarship, we want to connect students with $100 million in scholarships. And everything that we do in terms of our hiring strategy, recruitment strategy, marketing strategy, sales strategy, tech stack, everything that we do revolves around that one singular statement. Every time we have an all hands on deck town hall, it begins and ends with that. Can we connect students with $100 million in scholarships and change the lives of 100,000 people around the world. Man, I'll tell you, I have been on calls where I have seen mothers and fathers tear up because they are just overwhelmed with joy with the scholarships that they have received. Mothers who have received information or news that their daughter has received 80,000 dirhams in scholarship, or parents that have received information that their child has received 100,000 dirhams in scholarships. That's amazing. That's incredible. And that's what drives us. Those individual stories are incredible, but to sum it all up, to connect students with $100 million in scholarships.
So just as much as a business roller coaster that it is, the amount of emotional impact that you make in people's life is also commendable.
Absolutely, man. I think I touched on this earlier, but I'll come back to it again now. I'm a big believer in social impact entrepreneurship. With Lock and Stock, our mission was to help people study more, study better, stay off their phones and learn better. With SecureMyScholarship, our mission is to make education affordable and minimize tuition and connect students with $100 million. I'm a big believer in social impact entrepreneurship, and I actually think that the world would be a much better place if people solved problems, people found solutions to actual problems. At SecureMyScholarship, we don't sell cars or sell lipstick or whatever. When we have a good day, a child goes to university and a family begins to believe, literally, and that's amazing. I actually, if you give me one wish, I wish that just entrepreneurs out there, just smart people, find problems that they really care about. It doesn't have to be education, it can be something they really care about, and actually go out there and solve those problems and build billion-dollar companies around those problems.
And we wish a lot more entrepreneurs think in this aspect and build businesses upon that. For those people who are watching this interview and want to connect with SecureMyScholarship, just guide them how to do it.
Yeah, sure. So you can catch us at www.securemyscholarship.com. We are also available on Instagram and LinkedIn with just @SecureMyScholarship. You can actually find me as well on LinkedIn. I'm not on Instagram, unfortunately, but you can find me on LinkedIn. Just Craig Fernandes, SecureMyScholarship, and you should be able to find me. If you do want to talk, just drop me a DM. I love talking to really anybody who needs any help, advice, or just want to chat. Just hit me up on LinkedIn. Yeah.
So as we conclude this interview, Craig, what would be 3 pieces of advice that you want to give for aspiring entrepreneurs in the UAE?
3 pieces of advice for aspiring entrepreneurs. I think number one, and what people oftentimes forget, is understand your cash flow. I think people oftentimes forget about that. They get too lost up in, we want to build this amazing product, and this is how we're going to market ourselves or whatever. At the end of the day, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, cash flow is reality. Even if you don't look at your income statement or your balance sheet or anything, look at your cash flow once a week or twice a month or whatever. It's extremely important. The number one reason why most businesses shut down is because they run out of cash. Startups, SMEs, doesn't matter. The number one reason is because they run out of cash. That's number one. Number two is, I guess, really specific to the UAE, is think about your expansionary plans. The reason why there's only ever been one unicorn from the UAE, and that's Careem. I think visionary company, amazing company. But the reason why there's only ever been one unicorn from the UAE is because the UAE's market is not big enough. And if you don't get expansion right, you will not be able to build a billion-dollar company. Careem, while they did launch in the UAE, yes, they are available in, I think, 16 or 17 different countries. So they got expansion right. So think about expansion, and that's very UAE specific. If you're building in Bangalore, if you're building in, Cairo, you don't have to think about this as much because your domestic market is huge. But if you're building in the UAE, think about expansion. That's number two. And number three, and lastly, I think for any entrepreneur anywhere, just believe in yourself. I think believe in yourself, and I think from personal experience, I will tell you that when we set out to build Lock and Stock and then SecureMyScholarship, you will hear a barrage of no's. Don't do this. It's not going to work. Have you thought about it enough? Etc. 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 Just do it. I think if you believe in it and if you think it's going to work, just do it. Believe in yourself and always trust your gut, trust your instinct.
So number 1, take care of your cash flow. Number 2 is expansion. And number 3, and the most importantly, believe in yourself. So ladies and gentlemen, that's Craig Fernandes with us here on True Stories. It was lovely having you here, and we really look forward to having you back again at True Stories with a bigger story to share.
Thank you so much, man.